What up everyone, it's your man XMan87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the direct-to-consumer Hasbro post-exclusive Marvel Legends Fantastic Four series Dragon Man review. But before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's freaking go! A long, rich history of Dragon Man in Marvel Comics to cover, but let's go over a quick evolution of the character throughout the years. Dragon Man was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1965 and first appeared in Fantastic Four, issue number 35. Dragon Man is a synthetic life form created at Empire State University by Professor Gregson Gilbert. Dragon Man is one of the most powerful androids ever created. He has the mentality of a young child or docile dog, but it is easily controlled and manipulated by ultrasonics or hypnotism. Dragon Man is not evil in nature and used more so as a pawn for evil men with diabolical schemes. Throughout the years, Dragon Man has been used as a powerful pawn for numerous villains, including Diablo, Machine Smith, Ringmaster, Mad Thinker, and Puppet Master. Dragon Man has encountered numerous heroes including Spider-Man, the Hulk, and Captain America, but most notably against the Fantastic Four. Going back to Dragon Man not being evil by nature, he responds well to kindness and especially has a tender connection to Susan Richards and the Powers children. Dragon Man has recently been adopted by the Fantastic Four and has gotten close to the gifted children from the Future Foundation, especially Valeria Richards. Valeria has reprogrammed Dragon Man and now has super intellect and the capability of human speech. For powers and abilities, Dragon Man possesses superhuman strength, stamina, agility, reflexes, and durability. He has been able to hold his own against the likes of the Hulk, Hercules, Namor, The Thing, Blastar, and She-Hulk, among others. Dragon Man has two wings providing him the capability to fly and can exhale methane gas, which is ignited by striking his specialized teeth. Flame Breath is his primary power. The flames he produces can reach a temperature of 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Dragon Man has superhuman resistance to injury, but is vulnerable to intense cold and ultrasonic frequencies. In other media, Dragon Man was featured in Toy Biz's line for the 1994 Fantastic Four animated series, despite not actually showing up in the TV show. Dragon Man was featured in Toy Biz's Fantastic Four Classics line back in 2006. The figure has been considered a holy grail by collectors. He also appeared in some video games as well, such as Marvel Ultimate Alliance and the Marvel Contest of Champions mobile game. The towering 15 feet 3 inches tall Draconis, aka Dragon Man, has appeared in approximately 450 issues. Look at us now, man. All of us who missed out on that Dragon Man, we got this one, and that makes up for it big time. This thing is absolutely incredible. I don't even know where to start. He's just so amazing to look at. Man, he doesn't even fit in a frame, and I'm trying to measure this guy up for you. So he stands at, from head to toe, 10.5 inches tall. Up to the little spikes on his wings, he stands at about, I want to say almost a foot tall. So he's pretty big, and there are some things that kind of bothered me about the figure. It's nothing major. It's just minor, very minor stuff. And I'll tackle that in a few. But this guy, his scaling is so much better than the Toy Biz. And I'll start there, because the Toy Biz one, the downside of it was that he was so freaking small. I mean, Dragon Man is what, 15'3" in the comics, so he's supposed to be way bigger than this, honestly, because they made him at 10.5 inches tall, which again is big and it's way better than the Toy Biz scaling. But when you consider that Venom is 10.5 feet tall in the game and he's the same height, there's an issue there. So I kind of wish they pushed for 12 inches on Dragon Man. So that would have represented more comic accuracy. So if I put Max Spidey right here, you can see, you know, when he stands next to one of the standard size Legends, you know, it's not so bad, but you could just know the difference, and you realize when you see him in the comics, yeah, he's supposed to be way bigger still. But I don't know what they plan to do with this guy, you know. Is this going to be one and done? Because it is a made-to-order item. Or do they plan on doing some sort of repaint with him? Because they could put him in the future Foundation deco. I mean, if they want to complete that team, we're going to need that Dragon Man. So I could see him maybe repainting, well, not maybe just repainting, but retooling this part and just make the shorts extended here, you know, where the hips are, you know, above this thigh cut, you know. So that way you don't have scales because he has shorts with that team and not these brown trunks. So I am curious what they're going to do with that there. Wow, 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 man. This freaking head sculpt is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it is so comic accurate, too. And that's one thing I will say. The Toy Biz one was not comic accurate. I mean, that snout was just overextended. It was super long, and he had a more grotesque looking features around the face. You know, Toy Biz put their own spin on it, which, again, it made for a cool looking figure. I'm not taking that away, but it wasn't comic accurate. So, again, it looks cool, but I have to point out the facts. And the facts here, this is a comic accurate Dragon Man for sure. I just absolutely love it. Look at the horns right there. I love the layout to the head sculpt. It is very layered, literally. I mean, you got this front piece right here from the horns to the mouth that's glued onto this big old head of his that looks like a big brain. And the ears are attached to the head right here. It looks really, really nice. They use the ink tech right here to, you know, give it some sort of wash. So you have it on his horns, you have it under his eyes, around the snout area, you know, the beak right there. So it looks really good. Nothing on the chin around here, or the jaw, nothing there, but it looks really, really good. The bulging veins right there, that looks good. He even has some like warts and stuff that you could see around his head, and I think that's pretty freaking cool. They gave this guy a lot of details. One of the most impressive things about the head sculpt here is the eyes are not just painted on, they're a separate layer as well. So that is really, really cool. It makes the eyes look more realistic, and I love the reddish yellowy eyes. It just gives it such a neat layer to this figure. And another thing that impresses me is, well, he looks like he's smiling almost. Like he's very happy with the mouth closed. But then when you open his mouth, because he has an articulated jaw, you can make him look mean and ferocious too. So that's pretty freaking cool, man. And I love that they gave him an articulated tongue. So that's freaking awesome. It can move up and down like that. I think that's cool. That's the inner workings of his mouth right there. And the rest of the body continues to be phenomenal, man. They followed through. Like, they didn't just leave the details on the head. Because sometimes they do that, where they'll put the details on the head and then nothing to show for the rest of the body. Retro card apocalypse. Yeah, look at this, man. The scaling, you even get like a wash down the sternum here, from the chest to the sternum all the way down to the abs, like in the middle. I kind of wish they spread it out here, you know, a little bit underneath the chest and the oblique areas. That would have been nice, but I guess they didn't want to give you more purple nurple. They gave it this nice metallic sheen, so it's not just a wash. And on camera, it's looking like a wash. Not so much, you know, on hand. I'm looking back and forth on my camera screen and on hand. I feel like there's a mixture. Like a mixture of a wash, but there's also this metallic deco on it where it really makes his scales very shimmery. And it's beautiful, man. Oh, man. I'm loving everything about this freaking purple dinosaur, yo. Oh, he's just freaking beautiful. They gave him the fins right here on the forearms. You can see that. So, again, some more layers. I love that. I absolutely love the visual of the metallic sheen with the wash, and it continues all the way to his back. Let me pop these wings out so you can see. And the wings are not that difficult to pop off. You know, they are sturdy. You want that. You don't want it too easy to pop off, but look at the back there. isn't that nice, man? You see what I'm talking about? Like that flowing, you know, wash where it has some nice shaders and mixed with the metallic sheen. Like, they painted the back of the figure. That is nice. I'm happy they did that. I mean, they better with a made-to-order item. You know, I'm happy to see that. Absolutely beautiful job. Let's put the wings back on. And another good thing they did here with the wings, you get some more of that metallic sort of sheen right underneath here. Not all over, but there's definitely more of that metallic deco on the back than on the actual like scaling of the wings here. Again, it's not that bad. At least there's some of it. It's very subtle, but enough to make it pop nicely. And again, you get more of that nice wash sort of shader. It just looks good, man. You know, they painted the spikes right here at the top. It looks so good. I love that kind of gradient flow into the back of the wings. You can see he has like those warts too that continues onto the back of the wings. That's nice. You get some holes in them. It's sort of a tattered look. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, let me get his tail out the way. But it's so freaking nice. These are his default wings we're looking at. We'll take a look at the other set of wings when we get to accessories. Yo, I am not over this. I could look at the details on this all day. Like the skin textures, not only on the wings, but, you know, as well as on the figure itself. You get those, like, wrinkles and cracks. It's just so freaking good. Sorry if I'm glazing over this, man, but it's deserved. It's freaking deserved. You get the brown trunks right there. You know, you get some details right there, like the trimming. That looks so freaking good. You got the fists right there. The nails are painted. Look at those gams. Yeah, see, it continues with that metallic sheen and more of the wrinkled cracks. There's not like one smooth surface on this figure. Okay, maybe right here where the elbows are. You know, they didn't continue the pattern right here. So that's something I wish they filled out. And on the back of the knees as well. So everything else is filled, man. Like, it's just the inner legs, as you can see. Of course, he's pinless. He better be. But damn, I love that metallic sheen deco. Just the way they did the scales. I love the armored scales. And look at these Dragon Man toes, man. They did the feet really well. Again, just taking a close up. Look at the skin textures, man. Even on the inner calves, you get more of that wash. Really highlights the muscle definition. And yeah, the feet right here, you can see he's got that sort of armored scaling. So he's got that armored scaling plate on top of his foot. I don't know how else to describe it. And the nails right there, you get textures on the nails. You know, some wrinkled toes there. This is great, man. I love when I can just pause and admire a figure. You know, it just makes me shut up in admiration. I love this. And then lastly, the tail. Look at this thing. Absolutely gorgeous. It's bendy wire, of course. We all know that. But it just looks so good, man. I love the little like layers right here that they did. Oh, man, that's just really nice. The fins are at the top right here and just kind of fades away towards the bottom, because then the rest of it is clean. But that's the tip of his tail. It's got the little like nub there. I'm trying to take my time here because I don't want to miss any details, but the tail is on a ball joint. Again, you could like rotate it around, so it's not restricted to just an up and down hinge. You know, you can move it up and down, side to side, clockwise. Yeah, it is really nice. The bendy wire is, you know, again, I always say they got to improve on their bendy wire. You get more of the bend starting from here, but it's not that much. So you're only going to get it like really starting from here where it could really coil, and it's not that much, but enough to get some good poses. I just wish in this area it was a little more flexible, because I just want to do a little bit more with the tail. But again, bottom of the tail, those wrinkled skin textures, again, you see those cracks. All of it is absolutely glorious. And because he is a super top heavy figure, you're going to have to rely on that tail in order for him to balance well, because he will topple over. Not all poses, again, just some poses. Now for accessories, he comes with these tiny reading glasses, and yeah, they are very tiny. You can easily lose them, so just be careful where you store them. And it's got the translucent clear plastic, so you could see his eyes from this angle right through the glasses, so that looks really cool. It's a black deco, and the one thing I will say, these come off very easily. I mean, they just kind of rest on his snout. I just dropped that. See, you can lose them easily. So they rest like that. If I move them down, though, like, yeah, see, that's the problem. They fall off easily. What they should have done was make something where they should have created like a snug fit for it. Almost like the Savage Land Sauron, what they did with the Hypno Effect accessory, where it just kind of clips onto his nostrils. That was cool. They should have done something here where it could just easily just clip onto that snout right there. They could have made that happen. But it's a neat accessory. Oh my god, imagine if freaking Dragon Man grows a beard in Marvel Comics. That would be hilarious. He would look like, what's his name? Finster from Power Rangers. He'd look like a purple Finster. It'd be freaking hilarious. Then he has a set of open hands and a book. The book is a rehashed accessory. It just has the Future Foundation logo painted on the cover. And yeah, you could just have it, you know, in his hands just like that. And that's what I'm talking about with the reading glasses. See, if you have them looking down to read the book, it just kind of falls off. It doesn't happen all the time. You just got to be careful with it. So something like that, you know, that works. So just make sure the head is in position first, then rest the glasses on it. And this just fits, you know, so he could read the book to the Future Foundation kids, because that's what he does now. Marvel basically made him. He's Marvel's version of Barney now. But he's still a great character. A reformed villain, and he's still a good character. And with what they're doing with the Future Foundation with Dragon Man, he's just entertaining as hell. Like, they would kill it in the MCU if they do the Future Foundation right, because Dragon Man would be the star for sure. But look at these hands, man. Look at this. Look at them Barney nails. I'm just joking, but yeah, they're really good. Again, they don't miss with the details whatsoever on this figure. I just love it all. I really love it all. And then lastly are the open wings, and these things are freaking massive. It's about a 18-inch wingspan, I want to say. And he just looks so good this way, and makes other figures look even tinier when you have the open wings. Even if I bring out another figure that's bigger than normal, like a She-Hulk, you know, he still makes her look tiny. And I just want to bring out Wolverine here, because he's like one of the smallest ones, just for scale. Look at that, man. That's freaking crazy. He is a monstrosity. I love it. And they still give you that beautiful gradient flow as it's dark at the top of the wings, and then it gets lighter downwards. It's just so nice. And one of the cool things about this is that these wings are Gamerverse style from the Marvel Contest of Champions mobile game. I don't remember if it was in a panel or interview, but I remember Dwight Stahl saying that. So if you're one that's building a Gamerverse shelf, then this is the look you want to go for. So if you're wondering why he has two different colored wings, well, that's why. Here's the look at the wings. Again, nice texturing there. I like the orange color. And the Toy Biz one even had orange inside the wings. So, you know, if you're one that just doesn't like Gamerverse style and just wants comic style, you know, I really wouldn't make a big deal about it. So, look at that. And the veins, he still has those like warts inside there. Look at that gradient flow. And that's just an up close look. But, you know, if I zoom out a little more, you can see he's got some tattering right there, some holes in the wings still. It just looks all good, man. I just love this look. Great details, you know, on the wings. in and out. You know, the back is purple, so they kept that, which it should be that. It shouldn't be orange here on the back. It should be all purple. You still get that gradient flow, and just look at all those veins and the detailing on this, man. Freaking phenomenal. Now for articulation, I gotta say, for an oversized figure that's this big and bulky, the articulation is pretty solid. Although there are some things that I would have changed a little bit, but you know, I'd still like it overall. But we'll go over it. So the head moves up about that far. It's on a disc hinge. So let me just pop off the head so you can see. It's on a disc hinge. Unfortunately, it just stops right there. I felt like they should have created a little more space to move that back a little bit more so he could look up a little bit more, because there's still some room around the head here. As you can see, this is with me not moving that disc hinge. You still get some range there. I feel like moving it a little further back, I don't know, probably a tough call, because I would love for him to look up straight while he's flying, but I don't think we would have gotten much anyway, because his head's so goddamn big. So yeah, that's all you're gonna get, unless you want to cheat a bit, you know, and pop it off the socket a little bit. You're still gonna get a gap there, so it's not gonna look that good. Anyway, his head looks that far down, so that's what moving the hinge down all the way. Well, it's gonna stop right there at the end part of this big head, so he still looks down a good amount. I mean, no complaints there whatsoever. He looks left and right, obviously, but he does have some great head pivot right there, so you can see that. Rocks around, the jaw articulates, and also the tongue right there, so you can move it up all the way up if you want. It just disappears, but if you close that jaw up, is gonna bring the tongue back down. So I love this, man. That is really freaking cool. I wish the Gamerverse Venom had like an articulated tongue like that. That would have been cool. If they could find a way to put it on a ball joint instead of a hinge, that would be really cool, so you can move the tongue in either direction. But that is freaking cool. Anyway, the arms move about that far up, so despite his big scaly arms, he can move up to a straight T-pose, I want to say. Maybe slightly higher, but that's pretty impressive in itself right there. And then obviously the arms move up and down. You got the bicep swivel, the double jointed elbows, and let me tell you, man, this guy is not cheap plastic. He is pretty sharp, a little sharp in some areas. I mean, dude broke my skin here, and that's weird because I have tough, rough skin. So that just goes to show you that he's pretty sharp in some areas to end up cutting yourself. But I love that. I love my toys being dangerous. And then you have the wrist swivel, wrist hinge. But again, the double jointed arms, not that bad. I mean, he could scratch his face, so that's pretty cool. And then you got the butterfly joints, which are really good. They got some good range. You can see it moves forward and back, and some good space. However, the way they executed the torso, it's a little too narrow for my liking. Now, don't get me wrong, in the comics, he's had this kind of narrow torso, but I like it when it's bigger and broader. Like, I wish he had a broader chest, because it just looks like his pecs are kind of small. When you see that dip from the chest right here to where the butterfly joint is, it just kind of like just disappears, and so it kind of lacks depth in that area. But man, I'd rather have butterfly joints than no butterfly joints at all. I think what they should have done, and this is just my opinion, they should have went with that 360, that counterclockwise butterfly type of rotation, the import style. I think that would have worked out, and I think that would have given the design team a little more room to play with, to give them some more chest. But it's not that bad. Let me go here with the wings. The wings here, they angle in and out like so, and that's pretty cool. And you can also move them up like so, or move them down. So however you like to display them. Now going back to the torso, again, the narrow torso is just a minor nitpick, not my biggest complaint. Hell, it's way better than the Toy Biz one. The Toy Biz torso was super small, but still kind of had that, you know, narrow type of looking torso. I think the biggest problem with the torso on this figure for me is that he doesn't have a ball jointed waist. There's no waist cut whatsoever. Like, not even a traditional hardline waist swivel right here at all. All he has is the upper torso rocker here, so you can get an ab crunch about that far forward, and he can move back about that much, and you can, you know, pivot it like so. He's got some good pivoting there. That's nice. And of course you could swivel it, rock it around. You know, if you want to give him a deeper ab crunch, you could just play with the side angles right there. But yeah, man, they should have done a ball jointed waist because he's got the trunks. It would have blended in beautifully. I think the design to call for it, but there could have been other factors that they were probably worried about because he's so heavy. Maybe a ball jointed waist could have made it, you know, I don't know. There could be so many issues that come with it. Like, we've seen figures before, like, for example, that Revoltech Venom figure where the waist just keeps popping out. So, you know, got to worry about things like that. But who knows? I'm just stating something that I would like to see. You got the legs here. They can almost get a full split, which is pretty impressive. He doesn't have drop down legs. Figure doesn't need it. Again, it's pretty heavy, but he does kick up pretty far up. And as far as getting his legs back, that's as far as he could go. So, you know, not a bad frontward split, honestly. Legs rock around. You got the thigh swivel. You got the double jointed knees. He does have very sturdy joints, man. But look at that. Heel to the Dragon Man butt. Hell yeah. I'm happy to see great motion like this. And then the ankles, they move up about that far and then move that far down, you know, pretty low. And you got the ankle rockers like so. And you got the toe joint as well, which is pretty cool. Now, it doesn't look like he gets much because of this armored scaling plate thing that's on his foot. But honestly, that's okay because he's a pretty top-heavy figure, so I don't mind that hindering the toe range there because that would cause some balancing issues. If he could move it all the way up, he would definitely fall easily on a lot of poses, so this is good. And then, like I said, the tail, which I showed before, it rotates around, and you got the bendy wire action, and, you know, move it up and down, so articulation is pretty damn solid, like I said. Now let's put Dragon Man next to some Fantastic Four teams. So here is the classic team of Thing, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, and Human Torch. And I put Herbie in there just to have fun with the scaling. Here he is next to the modern team with Thing, Johnny, Reed, and Sue. Then the new gen Fantastic Four. Gotta have him next to Valeria Richards because of their strong bond. Then Franklin Richards, Moloid, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 10 out of 10. Total awesomeness. Can't believe it's been 19 years since the last Dragon Man figure that I was never able to get my hands on, and Hasbro played saving grace here because a lot of us gave up hope in never getting a new one. I even love the packaging on this as they pay tribute to the Toy Biz Fantastic Four Classics retro card from back in 2006. So did they recapture that feel and recreate an instant holy grail with this one? Only time will tell, but being that I never had the Toy Biz one, I'm treating this as if it's my holy grail. This being the first ever Marvel Legends direct-to-consumer is a great launching pad for what's to come and what to expect out of it. They treated this like a mini HasLab without all the crowdfunder BS. The levels of layered detailing is every bit of glorious, and the quality of plastic is even better than that of the last HasLab Gummy Hands Giant Man. This is the best plastic quality Hasbro has ever used. This is the way to go. This should be the vision going forward for high-end items. Yes, there were some things that bothered me at first, but then got over it after a few days, like the scaling, for example. I acknowledge that he still should have been a bit bigger, being a 15-foot, 3-inch monster. Again, They should have pushed for 12 inches realistically. No reason why a $60 Venom should be taller than an $85 Dragon Man for the $25 price difference, but I think it's for a reason if they ever wanted to retool his legs for a future Foundation look. And Marvel has scaled down Dragon Man's size a lot, so I can't solely place the blame on Hasbro for that. That's Marvel's fault for still billing his height as 15'3" and allowing artist discrepancies for not honoring his height properly. So nothing major for me there. I think what bothers me more than anything is that why didn't he come with a fire breathing effect, which is his signature power? That's like Banshee not coming with a screaming effect. Oh, wait. Okay, that's like Giant Man not coming with his growing effect. Oh, wait, damn, that either. So it goes to show you that Hasbro will still miss with their low-end and high-end products in the accessory category. I felt the book, the glasses, and only one pair of alt hands were very basic for a high-end release such as this. Don't get me wrong, he needed the two set of wings, and I like the two different styles between comic and gamerverse, but an alternate head with a huge flame effect to plug into his mouth would have really put a stamp on it to further justify the price point. But hey, there's still a lot of value being paid off here. Even without an alternate head, I like how we can get two different expressions with the articulated jaw and tongue. The articulation, again, is pretty solid all around. Sure, there are some things I would have changed, like giving him some sort of double diaphragm joint. I know I said adding a ball jointed waist, but I would have at least taken their, typical Marvel Legends style with the inverted ab crunch and the upper torso rocker combo. Just give us a little something extra there in the diaphragm. But everything else, from the wings to the bendy wire tail, Hasbro really showed up and showed out with this figure. Dragon Man has such majestic presence on the shelf, and that's how we should feel with a collectible such as this. This is already a goated figure at this moment in time. I just can't see this not being Marvel Legends Figure of the Year. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of the Marvel Legends Direct Dragon Man? Do you think the X-Men 97 Classic Sentinel will be the better figure this year? What should be the next Fantastic Four Marvel Legends Direct? Mole Man with Giganto, Namor with his Kraken, fantastic car? Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for watching another Marvel Legends video. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xman87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.